Hey everyone, it's Greg from Stationery Shenanigans. In this video, I just wanted to have a little chat about my journey with Hobonichi and Hobonichi Techos. And I think I got my first one probably in 2015 when I really started to get interested into Japanese stationery, including traveler's notebooks. And I would go through all the excitement of ordering the next year's Hobonichi on October 1st, Japan time, when it gets released. And some of you may remember that there were years where like the website would crash, or there was like a really hot item everyone wanted, or it would get restocked, and it was like, there's so much excitement surrounding it. And I would get them and I would buy all these cool things and have it all set up, but then I would never use them, or I would use them for less than a week and then put it away for 6 months, find it again and be like, oh, I forgot how pretty this is, and then use it for a day and then not use it again. So with the release of the July start one that's starting next week, and I'm going to be ordering that, I decided that I wanted to just go over like what worked for me and what didn't work for me, because I have this like craving again. I didn't buy any Hobonichis for 2022, and if you saw in my previous video, the only Hobonichi for 2022 I got was this found one that I found in a trash can in front of a bookstore that was barely used. And I actually had a week's cover. So I don't have any weeks on me because usually the years prior, I used weeks at work and I would use them to death. And I think I probably just threw them out at the end of the year simply for planning. I did no artwork in them, no journaling, nothing like that. It was just a nice size to like carry around going from place to place. And, having the right page of all note space was definitely the selling point for me. So back to the actual Techos and the A6 and the A5, the original and the cousin. Every year I would buy, a cover that I loved and the cover on cover and the notebooks or whatever accessories they had. And I was just so excited. And yeah, so after watching a lot of videos and seeing how other people use Hobonichis, it really inspired me to kind of just go back and see if I could fit it in somewhere into my lineup. Because for the longest time for traveler's notebooks, I use them exclusively for traveling because I traveled extensively until I moved back to the US, and then the pandemic hit, so I really have not traveled that much, especially internationally, since. But I kind of want to just turn to Hobonichi from now on, maybe as like an art journal. And, I always want to do some kind of sketch or watercolor or whatever, but maybe having the one day, a dated page, and just doing one page every day, maybe not one page each day, maybe I do 2 or 3 pages and, throughout the week or whatever, kind of motivates me to keep like a record to see if I could do it for a year. So that's why I'm kind of thinking about the July start one. It's only half a year, it's less of a commitment, and I'll explain why I am ordering the cousin size. So these aren't all my Hobonichi items. Some got lost in my international moves or thrown out or whatever, because I remember having more items than this. But I kind of, as I was organizing the other night, I just picked out every Hobonichi thing I could find and just to re-examine it with you all. So thanks for listening to me babble about Hobonichis. Maybe this will be interesting to you. So the very first one I got, I think, let's see if it says the year. Okay, it was 2016. So yeah, that's right. I would have ordered it in 2015. This is a cousin size cover, just the plain one. It's like a forest green. It has a cover on it, which is why you see like the plastic, with a gray interior, and then the maroon writing board. And when I got this, it felt too big with the cousin inside. It just felt like really actually heavy. And then when I would open it up and have this whole page, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I think when I first started using it, I tried to use it as a daily planner, but that didn't work for me. At that time, I was actually using a Leuchtturm or a Moleskine planner, I can't forget, before I switched to the weeks the following year. But it just like kind of overwhelmed me. So then all the other years, I would ignore the cousin because clearly it didn't work for me, and I would switch to the original, the A6 size, and I think I would try to get them in English the years they had them. Maybe some years they didn't always have the English version. I can't remember. Maybe I had some of the Japanese versions. So, and also the downside of the cousin was there was no English version, so I couldn't really enjoy the quotes or anything that are in it. Yeah, so then I would switch to the original size, which felt too small for me because, again, I have big hands, and then it was just, I felt like it was almost reading like a Reader's Digest magazine or just like a little tiny hymnal book or something. I don't know. It just, my hand, as you can see, is like bigger, is way bigger than the page. So I wish there was something in between the A5 and the A6 that they made, but that's besides the point. And I think one of the other things that stopped me was everything Hobonichi felt so pretty and felt so designy and artistic, and like a lot of the times I would get the items and don't want to touch them for that reason. And then you go on their website or look at this is from 2021, like the life book thing, and I just felt like I wasn't making the cut and it just wasn't working for me. So we want to kind of change that, right? With a lot of things in life, we want to do what works for us. So I think I'm going to go in the order that I can remember. So this is the Dashinka, which according to, what year was this? And then here's the Dashinka pencil board. And it's funny because I can read this. I don't speak Czech very well, but I understand it because I speak 3 other Slavic languages, and they have a lot of similarities. Plus, my education is in linguistics, so I know how to look for the similarities. So anyway, and not all of these books that not all the actual techos inside the covers are gonna match up with the right ones. I think I had swapped them around. So this is 2021, and I put it in the Dashinka because I like the color of the cover, even though I believe I had ordered the red one in 2021. I first started to use the Matisse red one for a couple weeks, and then when I gave up and found it again towards the end of the year, I switched to the green because I thought maybe it was the cover that was stopping me. It's not. I don't know why I tell myself it's these things. It's not. It's just my desire. So the Dashinka is nice because it's kind of like a canvas interior, but I used it like 2 days in January, so the January 16th, 17th, and 18th, and I cut out from the Japanese restaurant I went to. I was in Williamsburg on like a weekend getaway trip, and I just did some sketching with Prismacolors and journaled about my trip and put what I was currently reading, which was essays of E.B. White at the time. And then I cut out something from my restaurant experience. And again, I was trying to like mimic my traveler's notebook thing. And then I used it again. Oh, okay, I did use it in February. And I just did some sketching from a music video I was watching at the time. And then I sketched I saw this house that had really ruby red-orange shutters that were huge, and it just stood out to me, so I tried to draw this house with the shutters. And then I think that was the last I touched my Techo for that year. I did fine because I would be sitting outside a lot, especially because this was during the pandemic when I pretty much only ever did things outside. The page holder was actually very useful for that. So I recommend that if you plan on being outside and the wind blowing and all that. So here's the inside of the Matisse one. I don't know the right terminology for what the covers were called. I'm just going by what I see, so I apologize for that. And this cover was for, I think 2021, but the book I have in here currently is for 2020, the lost year. And I think I just journal a little bit. I wrote about books that I read, Meet Me at the Museum. Look, I even wrote on Wednesday, January 8th, I think this is the 4th or 5th year buying Hobonichi, but I've never actually utilized it. So I'm writing about how I'm not using this thing, and then look, I stopped using it. I mean, can I be any more predictable? And then on March 3rd, I wrote Parker Jotter London. I guess I was testing a pen and chose March 3rd page to do it on. And I have the light blue pencil board. I always save everything that they send you, so that's that. And then this is the Earth one, which, how many people on Earth do you think have seen the world as round with our own eyes? I want to say this is 2019. Can't remember. Well, yeah, 2019 planners in it. Oh, Chinese place. And then this is, yeah, so 2019 with a little cartoon. Happy Nothing Special Day. That one's kind of nice. Oh, it's in Thai and Japanese and English. That's cool. Let's see if I even use it at all in 2019. Okay, looks like I did toward the end of the year. I used it at the end of the year. So, and I just did I literally used it for like 3 or 4 pages, Richmond. I had just come back from Poland. It was my last time in another country before I came back to the US. And little did I know, 2 months later, chaos would ensue. But yeah, so I barely used it then. Of course, I saved everything. Here's the Techo from 2020 comic. This one's in English, the actual comic itself. And I know I had a poster, I think it had to have been 2017, where they sent you like a big poster that showed all the different usage. I mean, it was huge because I remember I hung at my apartment in Moscow, so it had to have been big. So maybe I need to reread these on how to use it, because I was not using it any differently than just my traveler's notebook. And if you've noticed, my traveler's notebook, I definitely use consistently, and I love it. So I don't know what about Hobonichi was turning me off. Maybe it was like the dated part of it, where I felt obliged to write on certain dates. I don't know. Only psychologists could tell me, right? So then one year I know I had gotten the notebooks that are kind of like the week's notebooks, because I love the tall, skinny part of it. Again, reminiscent of traveler's notebooks. I think I use a couple of these at work for just different projects I was doing at the time, because I like not thick notebooks because it's less of a commitment, or you could just dedicate one notebook to a certain project or whatever you're doing. Of course, the paper quality is great as always, and I think they're all grid. And I don't know if that was the same year I had gotten just the cousin size notebook, which is also grid. Does it say what year? No. Yeah, it does fit in here. So this is definitely the cousin size. I'm really bad with sizing. Like I know A5, I kind of know B5, I know A6, but when people say the size of the notebook, I have trouble picturing it. So yeah, this is A5, which is what I want to get. It's what I want to go ahead with. I'm not going to be really carrying it around like I had done back in the day, which is why it felt so heavy. So it just feels like a better size. Look, my hand actually fits on the page. This little letter set was maybe one of the first times I ordered it, because I love the Shiba Inu motif that they had. I know I had like sticky notes from them and the little page markers and all that stuff. And then these are the little folders, clear folders that go in the back of the A6. I know that there's a third one because I remember using it. I like this one, that's like the Mount Fuji one. And then this one with, I don't know what that would be, an olive branch. I just like the colors on it. So I still have some of those. And then this is the pen from 2021 that you're probably all familiar with. And it's funny because Jetstream is actually my all-time favorite ink. So I actually have this on my desk right now because I can never get enough Jetstream. I even have one of the tissue holders. If you'll remember, you get a free gift some years or every year, I'm not sure. And this was one year, and I actually used it because I always carry around tissues, and I still kept this. So this is one of those gifts that a lot of people would like throw to the side. I would watch a lot of Hobonichi haul videos, but I'm always carrying tissues, so I actually liked it. And then most recently, probably my main Hobonichi purchases were actually the drawer pouches and they're all called, or they were called drawer. There's one that's like a drawer box, which I showed in my fountain pen video. But so I actually have 4 drawer pouches, and let's go by size. So the biggest one is I have this large one. Can I zoom out a little bit? I have this large one because I used to always get the weeks that had the necktie fabric because I just loved it. And I really like this one. It's like brown and multicolor necktie. It just feels amazing. And this used to be what I carried all my art supplies in when I would take road trips and go journal and stuff. You can fit a lot. It does get hard to close it if you put too much in it though. But I remember I had taken this to Williamsburg with my red one because I had a whole Prismacolor tin of colored pencils in here and everything else. And I sat outside in the middle of January and journaled. So I actually really like this one. The one I would use more as a pencil case is the medium sized. I really like this yellow, hence I also have the box in yellow, which has my fountain pen ink. I like yellow because it's bright and I can see better. The inside is gray. It has the zipper and it has the elastic behind the zipper. I really like this feature, the zipper. It's also on the top of the box. There's just something about it. And then the 3 different pockets. I feel like Hobonichi does an amazing job at thinking about how you would use it and thinking about their design. And if you follow them on social media, you can tell that they really treat it as a science. And then there's an external pocket. So I like that one. And then I think did I get this one? So I don't know if it's the small one or this one, but there was a random time when Amazon had them 50% off. Because sometimes I would just peruse Hobonichi or Traveler's Notebooks or Stationery, and they were legitimately 50% off. And I want to say it was the small necktie one that I got, really inexpensive. Again, this one's actually softer than the plaid one. It's just a navy small necktie, and it has a leather part. What's the word for that? Leather handle, and like a key ring thing. And the inside is also navy. And I just really like this. So I've never actually used these to carry stationery. I used to carry around like small toiletries in my bag. But the softness is amazing. And then I have the same one. Well, it's not exactly the same. It's the black one, but it doesn't have the necktie fabric. It has just the, what is this? Polyester, nylon? I'm not good with that either. Strap, and then is the inside. Yeah, the inside is beige on this, which I love. That's why I originally chose this one, because I have trouble seeing inside of things, and I thought the bright color would make it easy to find things. The only thing about this one is it gets so much fuzz on it. I don't know if you probably can't see it, but it's supposed to be all black, but it just gets covered in fuzz and dust. I don't know if spraying it with Scotch Guard or anything would help, but I like that too. So those are my Hobonichi items, pouches, A6, cousin, yada yada. I never tried the Avec, which, well, I will be now, but I've never tried it before. I've never used any of just the regular notebooks that are a little bit thicker, not these thin ones. So yeah, I'm taking a sign that I found a Hobonichi weeks the first time I didn't order one as a sign that I should start using them again, or use them at all really. And then 2023 will be the year that maybe I will be one of those people that has like an actual plan and does a haul and uses it every day and all that good stuff. So anyway, thank you once again for listening to me rant about stationery. Let me know in the comments below if you use a Hobonichi and what you use it for. I would love to hear from you. And I hope you're all safe and take care.